So now that we've gone to funding from the plan design screen and entered in our from and to amounts on our HRA to indicate where the reimbursement should occur in relation to the deductible, we are now in our HRA configuration screen. Notice on the coverage diagram we can see where the range of that HRA is being built. The key to the HRA configuration is there's really three controls to configure your HRA. The first one, which has already been preset from our from and to amounts, is where to start and end the reimbursement. Now, the next slider is going to be what percentage of that range should the HRA be reimbursing. So in our case, we want to recreate a $3,000 deductible. So we want to reimburse all of that amount. Now, you can either use a slider or you can type in the text fields here. Either way will work. Now notice on the coverage diagram the vertical scale. Also notice our breakout table on the right, how we're able to see what the overall net out-of-pocket is with this HRA being added. So we can see if we reimburse 100% from $3,000 to $4,000, our net out-of-pocket, when taking into consideration the HSA funding we already have on that plan design, would be $2,500 for single, $5,000 for families. All right, you'll notice that under the table we have two figures, budgeted utilization or budgeted liability and max liability. So these first two controls really are going to determine what our maximum liability is. If I wanted to replicate coinsurance and simply move my HRA reimbursement to 80%, again, note on the coverage diagram how we're able to visually see that reimbursement. So we would know the employees are responsible for the other 20%. Notice by changing our reimbursement percentage, we impact our net out-of-pocket and also impact our maximum liability. We're going to go ahead and set it back to 100%. Again, notice our net out-of-pocket and our maximum liability update. Now, the last control is that which we determine what portion of that maximum liability we want to budget for. So for instance, if we go to 50%, we're saying that we're going to budget, that we're going to use 50% of our maximum liability. So by adjusting our budgeted utilization, we can see how that impacts our budgeted liability. And the key is that that budgeted liability is what's being added back into our plan design cost. So the budgeted liability on any HRA is added to our plan design cost. Now, we're able to enter in that budgeted utilization. We do not have a separate field for administration fees, so make sure when we're setting our budgeted utilization that we're setting it high enough to include any administration fees that might be occurred. If we decide we want to reimburse or budget at 35% utilization, again, notice how our budgeted liability is updated as well as our plan design cost. All right, so let's set this one back at 40%. We'll leave it at 40% for our agreed upon budgeted utilization. And now, just like premium share, we're going to click back to plan design. And now we're able to see again how that additional funding impacted our net out-of-pocket costs for that HRA plan. All right, now the next step is, since we're dealing with an example where we have a budget expectation, if I go into show combined enrollment, notice that by adding the HRA, that plan design is over budget. So by simply clicking on premium share and going in and clicking solve to budget, the plan designer will recalculate where that premium share needs to be, including that HRA, in order to bring our plan design back to budget. If I go back to the plan design, come out of show combined enrollment, we'll now see that in this variation where we have a $2,500 net out-of-pocket cost for single, $5,000 for family, we can now see what we would need to charge the employees in order to keep this plan design adjusted to our budget.